Hello everybody and welcome to High Playing Games, Simon here, and welcome to Coffee Crisis, a game that's come out on PC, and it's the latest game to come out on the Sega Mega Drive. I still have my Mega Drive, I've still got my Master System, I've still got a ZX Spectrum to be fair, showing my age now. But I love the fact that you can go into Shopify down at the bottom. I won't do it because it will take me out of the game, and you can essentially buy the physical cart to be delivered to you for your Genesis or Mega Drive, depending on your region. And this is they were kind of massively prolific back in this era of gaming as well. The 2D side-scrolling beat-em-ups. This reminds me heavily of Double Dragon, Vigilante, that kind of like Mega Drive Master System era. But the graphics are fluid, the music is great. And there's some additions for if you're playing the PC version, which I'm assuming most people will be. So if you're playing the PC version, and it essentially randomly generates some modifiers for you to play with, which you'll see up on the top of the screen. The whole thing around that is that you can then basically ask when you're streaming on Twitch or on Mixer, because this is an Xbox One PC game. A PC game around Microsoft. The whole point is... Oh, and we're straight into the proper game here. You'll be able to have your Twitch streamers modify your modifiers on the fly, so they get involved into the thing. However, at the base of the game, you control this little gentleman there, or the lady, and you work in a coffee shop, and then you basically have almost like a Bill and Ted adventure moment where you go, oh my god, and dive off and get into this 2D environment. At the end of each level, you get a password. This game does not auto-save your progress. It is worthwhile knowing that. So you do need to type down your password unless you're going to play through all 10 of the levels that you've got in one go, which you can do. After each round, and this doesn't often happen at the end of the tutorial level, but this is the modifier that we've got this time round, you have like a coffee chugging game to see how much health or energy you can restore, and it will change each time essentially, but the idea is that if you can get over 800 points, of which we scored 1,000 because I kept it in the green all the way through, I get a 1-up for myself. Occasionally you might just get some energy, or you might just get some HP. That's like your weird little inter-level mini game. You will get some cutscenes that will kind of tell you some of the story as you go, alongside the amazing hair metal soundtrack, which is very of its time. This is very mid-90s game. Reminds me of Road Rash. The cutscenes are nice and well drawn out for the style that it goes for, and it's very Bill and Ted. And Bill and Ted mixed with Clerks. So, let's get onto the actual game itself. Obviously this is made for 2 players and co-op adventuring. It's that style of game that works really well. But what I really like about this is that the character moves around in a really fluid and predictable way. And I always find these types of games live and breathe off of a couple of different things. One is its theming. 2, its variety of enemies and the moves that you get itself. And I've got plenty of these moves. Now sadly, this looks like... I like how we've got the modifier where it seems to be playing grandpa music everywhere. We might not survive this. A lot of these, they've all got like power-up health. This is very unfortunate. We'll see how we get on. So, yeah, me continuing on with what makes these types of games great, for me personally, I have predictability but variety of moves that's going on, and this has that in droves. It does have a collection of really good themed enemies. We are basically grandpas crossed with aliens. Invisible, so let's go in for the kill on this little boss. And I really like the theming of the donut and coffee restaurant with everything that goes on. So coffee beans bring up your health. That's made me more invisible because I've just had like a power of coffee beans. No one can get me now. And the other thing that really works for this game is not so much the hit detection, of what goes on horizontally, but it is about what goes on vertically as well. Because where we're in this 2D environment, quite often you can almost be misaligned in a way that makes the game very, very difficult to understand exactly what it is that you're getting yourself up to, essentially. Because if you don't line yourself up, or if you kind of are clipping the top of someone, you're not necessarily aiming for them, it makes a game really, really frustrating and annoying. Or conversely, way too easy, because you can stand slightly off their line of sight, but then still get everything that they want. This little guy you have to try and hit to get different power-ups and stuff before he runs away. Nice. Nice little one up there, thank you very much. Oh, let's get the muffin. Let's move on whilst we've still got our piece of wood before it breaks. Let's get one up there, thank you. I do really like the music in this game. Let's put one up, thank you. A little bit better now. I was a bit shocked with that initial difficulty curve, because that is the hardest collection of modifiers, which was basically chucking extra bosses, more people and higher difficulty all at once. I was like, oh, this is only supposed to be stage 1, leave it alone. But you can turn those modifiers off in the menu if you want to. But I just wanted to show that modifying is something that exists, and you can have them controlled by your Twitch streamers. I'm not sure how it works in the Mega Drive version. I'm assuming it's just randomised and it chooses what it wants for you. Die, damn you. Thank you. Let's march on. The man and woman do handle the same to me. They have slightly different movesets, but not by much. So it is more aesthetic than anything else. Mod count 5. Ah, we've got something to help us. So we've now got a little alien guy who's helping us out here. Which is good. Oh, we're still dying though. Get him! Got the power-ups. We can now proceed on. I like the way how he's slightly stroppy and angry. And then when you see the portal at the end, that is the end of the level. Oh, we went before something happened. Now, passwords are for new levels, and I've seen them repeat time and again. It doesn't seem to matter how many lives you've got left and how well you've done in terms of score. So if you want your score to stay with you, you do need to continue on throughout. I do find that slightly upsetting, but I guess that's the limitation of going back to being a Mega Drive game when you're using passwords. You will need to jot those down if you then want to come back to the game in future, or you can just keep on going in one sitting. The game does work better in co-op. I did have the option of brief ability of being able to have a mate over and have a quick go at this, we had a blast, and it reminded me very much of Double Dragon from the early days, Streets of Rage, from that kind of stuff. And it's the quintessential names that I'm dropping so that you can kind of see the echelon of where this is. I find these style of games actually quite difficult to play because I'm not very good at them, so I can never really judge too much on the difficulty level. But what I do like about this game is that it gives you so many one-ups and a chances to replenish your health, at least early on in the game, that I don't feel completely like flummoxed and done by so early on, which was a bit of a problem for me with Scott Pilgrim on PS3, which is similar in terms of its style of gameplay. That kicked my ass really early on. But as I say, I'm not great at these games, but I really enjoy them. Great soundtrack, great graphics, love the fact it's on the Mega Drive. Support developers like this, what more can I say? A written review will be out on higherplanegames.com towards the end of this week. I've got through in a playthrough to about stage 7 or so, and I've not been able to actually finish it all off, so I just want to do the last few levels before I then go ta-da. So yeah, watch the space, and if I don't get that far, you'll kind of get a yay, it's really great, but I can't really tell you about the final boss. Which I don't like to do. I like to show a game all the way to fruition. So that is Coffee Crisis, out now. Thanks for watching. I hope that was informative. Isn't it great to have a Mega Drive game on the channel? Plenty of more retro stuff will be coming out very shortly. Bye for now.
This channel is just one of my many projects that cover games, music and film. If you enjoy any of these and would consider supporting me to develop further in the future, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/Satorimon. Thank you for your time and for watching the video.